Okay, so as many of you know, when it comes to the fandom in the Star Wars universe, they're so passionate, and that is true, but they can really, really go too far. And that's so unfortunate as well. Like, they can be really toxic, really harsh, really unfair, and even punishing. And there's a recent history of all this that I will get into. And that's exactly what has happened recently. So by the time the Obi-Wan Kenobi TV series premiered on Disney Plus, which also stars Ewan McGregor, and I'll get to him in a moment, because one of the actresses who plays one of the Inquisitors, her name is Moses Ingram. For one reason or another, she's all of a sudden got so much racism, plenty of hate and racist comments and messages through Instagram, and this is really unfair. And she did respond to to all this through her Insta stories. I don't have the video, but I did find quotes on it. I mean, what's even worse, like so many things like "go die" or whatever, even being called the N word as one of the examples. So it's really awful. And Ewan McGregor did share and respond to video. It did. His video did go up to socials, and the Star Wars Twitter account. Oops, sorry. Did Star Wars Twitter account did share his video, and I thought that was really important they did that. So I'm gonna play that.
This weekend, Star Wars fans made Obi-Wan Kenobi the most watched Disney Plus original series premiere of all time. And for that, I would say a big thank you. And it just goes to show what this family can do when we all pull together. However, it seems that some of the fan base from this influential fan base have decided to attack Moses Ingram online and send her the most horrendous racist DMs. And I heard some of them this morning and it just broke my heart. Moses is a brilliant actor. She's a brilliant woman. And she's absolutely amazing in this series. She brings so much to the series. She brings so much to the franchise. And it just sickened me to my stomach to hear that this had been happening. I just want to say, as the leading actor in the series, as the executive producer on the series, that we stand with Moses. We love Moses. And if you're sending her bullying messages, you're no Star Wars fan in my mind. There's no place for racism in this world. And I totally stand with Moses.
I really like and applaud what Ewan McGregor said, and I'm with him fully 100%. Like, these sort of attacks really disgust me. I don't like it. I never liked it before, and I'm definitely not gonna like them now. So I'm really glad that he took the time and responded because, like, his voice means a lot. He obviously has direct influence on the series, not just being an actor but executive producer. So that does matter. And it's he's not the only one as well. Like Star Wars Twitter account did say, "We are proud to welcome Moses Ingram to the Star Wars family and excited for Reva's story to unfold. If anyone intends to make her feel in any way unwelcome, we only have one thing to say: we resist." Following that same thread, the same Star Wars account also said, "There are more than 20 million sentient species in the Star Wars galaxy. Don't choose to be racist." So I'm really glad as well that there's responses online from the Star Wars social media team on Twitter talking about this, and this is something that me personally, I really do appreciate. Like, and I want to go back to it. Like, oh yeah, and one of the things that she said just before I go back to recent history, you know, she responded as well, and I'm really glad she did. I have the quotes saying, "There's nothing anybody can do about this. There's nothing anybody can do to stop this hate. The thing that bothers me is this feeling of like, I just gotta shut up and take it. I just have to grin and bear it. I'm not built like that." And she continues saying, "Thank you to the people who show up for me in the comments and the places that I'm not going to put myself. And to the rest of y'all weird." And yeah, you know what? I have to agree. I mean, it's not fair for a young actress like to just, she is 28, but not fair to have her be put in a place, and even like African American actresses playing television roles. I think something similar may have happened to, if I said her name right, Sonequa Martin and Star Trek Discovery. She may have gone through abuse and harassment and racism as well. So it's a weird sort of trend that has happened before, not the first time. And I want to go back to a couple of, actually three prominent Star Wars actors, John Boyega and Kelly Marie Tran. I mean, they've been very vocal about the racism and hate they got online just after appearing in recent Star Wars movies in the sequel trilogy. And it's not really fair. I mean, like for someone like Kelly Marie Tran and Star Wars The Last Jedi, which me personally, I really liked, and the critics liked it, but the fandom hated. Like, I'll get into all that in just a moment as well, but she wrote an op-ed on the New York Times about the harassment she received just for starring in The Last Jedi. And it became so intense that not only did she leave social media, but she had to spend time in therapy as well. And that's not even fair. And after that whole thing, when it came to, not The Last Jedi, the 2019 Star Wars film, The Rise of the Skywalker. I almost forgot about the title. Anyway, yeah, The Rise of the Skywalker. She did appear in the movie, but her role and the amount of screen time, like she didn't have as many scenes. I think obviously a large part of that had to do with Rian Johnson not being director in the movie like he was in Last Jedi, and then J.J. Abrams coming back just like he did for The Force Awakens. But speaking of Force Awakens, when it came to the Force Awakens trailer, John Boyega making an appearance in the marketing promotion, there was a whole strange social media movement of hashtag Black Stormtrooper, which is weird. And after many reacted to his casting with suspicion and racist remarks, it's so weird. And you know what's also unfair? Even Daisy Ridley herself, she was on the main face of the sequel trilogy, played Rey. Yeah, even I almost forgot the name of the character, but I saw all three movies. So she played Rey. We all know that. What's even worse is that, behind the camera, she faced as well a lot of the harassment throughout the films. And it also made her quit social media, like whatever she got. I mean, she got a lot of harassment comments regarding her body image or body type, and comments about her weight or whatever it is. And that wasn't exactly fair. I mean, this even goes back to the era of the prequel trilogies. I mean, think about this. Like, this is really a cautionary tale, because really it's like you can't please them easily. Like, anything they don't like, they really attack. Like, it's really one of the most toxic fan bases in pop culture cinema, Like Jake Lloyd, maybe some of you may remember the name Jake Lloyd when he was just a little kid. He did play a very young Anakin Skywalker, whose future we all know about. Like, it turns out he even faced subjected to brutal harassment as well. And I also feel bad for another actor, Ahmed Best. Some of you may remember the name Ahmed Best. He plays Jar Jar Binks. Now look, I get it. Jar Jar Binks, not exactly the most beloved, one of the most hated Star Wars characters, but the whole negative situation was so bad, like it really had serious effects on him. First, if it made Jake Lloyd quit acting altogether, and then Ahmed Best contemplated committing suicide. He didn't attempt or anything like that, but I mean, it really hurt him. So I really get it. Like, the original trilogy, I mean, the first two films, everyone agrees they're like A grades, and then Return of the Jedi like a B grade. But then the prequel trilogies, hated a lot. And then the sequel trilogies, I don't know, it's like a lot of, I mean, The Force Awakens, critics didn't love, but fans liked. And the issue was that it was so much like the first one, A New Hope, or whatever you want to call it, from 1977, the first one. And then The Last Jedi, critics liked, and I really liked that as well, but the fans hated just being totally different and not a Star Wars film. And then a lot of reaction to the Return of Skywalker, or no, The Rise of Skywalker, being worse than Episode 1 of the films. Like, so like critics and fans, when it comes to Star Wars films, they always have divided opinions, and it gets really heated and intense and even unhealthy at sometimes. So it just shows, like, like this really goes back to when any sort of actor actress portrays any character in a certain way that the fans don't like, they really do attack unrelentlessly, and it's really become really harmful by now. Like, I'm not sure I get the idea or the motivation behind the reasons, but they're human beings, no matter how famous or not famous they are. Like, it affects their mental health as well. Like, it doesn't help with the whole public exposure of Instagram today. But again, this is a situation like there was no Instagram in the prequel trilogy era. So again, like now it's just easier to harm people with the technology that we have. But I do agree with what Ewan McGregor says. Like, it has to stop. I don't think it's going to stop, but it really, really does need to stop from now on.